Jack.
I kept returning to Nablus soap. I had to find a way to subvert that silence.
In this moment, we are in the disaster of post-globalization unfolding. But let's go back a little bit to globalization. Contemporary art in general, not just contemporary Arab art, had to naturalize globalization as an ideology. This was important because it will unlock the capitalism in the art market to reach more visibility and sales than ever before across the globe. Globalization unleashed a new type of capitalism. Some power structures like the World Bank and the World Economic Forum invested in globalization in their agendas and policies. Equally as important is another power structure invested in globalization and anchored in capitalism, the museum. The Mafak min Rasi will be to examine where and how Arab artistic practices addressed matters of concern through power structures by the use of driveways. How Arab artists or curators make art, or equally as important, is how the Arab viewer responds to art. The making and seeing of art is informed by everything in real life. It's informed by culture, religion, politics, policies, everything really. On the other hand, there are inventions by globalization that condition us to new social norms. I know it's confusing. Let me put it this way. At weddings, there's a table that will have a little gift. No one says take the gift, but you take the gift because that's the social conditioning. Or at Gergean, kids walk into doorways and take the candy, also social conditioning. But what happens when this now fully grown Gergean adult walks into a museum and finds an endless supply of candy? This is precisely what happened with me. MOMA PS1 opened an epic show, Theater of Operations, the Gulf Wars 1991 to 2011. An artwork made of candy titled Public Opinion by the artist Felix Gonzalez Torres was piled in a corner. By the museum's own admission, the candy was an endless supply. The missile-like shape of the candy and its brooding, almost sinister appearance alludes to America's culture's pervasive militaristic outlook and hostile hegemonic stance. As an artwork produced in a conservative political climate, the sculpture also refers to the still pervasive censorship in America and suggests that public opinion is not as informed as it once was. When I went to university in Boston in 1990, people would say, "Oh, you're Pakistani," or "Where's Kuwait?" which really surprised me considering we were already 1 month into the invasion and Ted Turner's CNN was already in every home in America, shaping America's public opinion. So, when I saw Felix's work, Public Opinion, it triangulated things relevant to me, the Gulf Wars, public opinion, and just stuff about CNN, Pakistanians, oil, food, on the floor, waste, and candy.
يبا نمر بيت ورا بيت نبي الحلو ونبي الحلو والشكليت ونمر بيت ورا بيت نبي الحلو والبرميت.
Felix's free candy public opinion resonated so well with me, I was going to go back to the museum, but prepared. The museum in the Western world is a power structure. The power comes from the control over narratives, resources, and access. Museums shape public understanding and contribute to cultural and political landscapes. They contribute to ways of thinking. The World Economic Forum is also a power structure. In their own words, they describe what they do as engage political, business, academic, civil society, and other leaders of society to shape global, regional, and industry agendas.
It's an exclusive club like no other. A fortress of power nestled in the Swiss Alps. For over 50 years, this World Economic Forum has quietly shaped the future of the world.
The World Economic Forum is considered to have significant influence. At the same time, it attracts considerable criticism.
In 2004, the Palestinian delegation to the World Economic Forum at the Dead Sea asked Jack Gergean to direct an event showcasing Palestinian heritage. Let's listen to Jack describe his concern.
At the time, Israel had not only planned but begun constructing the separation wall across the West Bank. I couldn't imagine staging a cultural event on a global platform without confronting the reality of this apartheid wall. But the World Economic Forum insisted on their so-called neutrality, refusing any direct political statements. I had to find a way to subvert that silence. I kept returning to Nablus soap.
In 1996, Jack hosted Muna Hatoum's artwork Present Tense at Anadiel Gallery in Jerusalem. Muna used Nablus soap bars to trace the Oslo II map. She said about using the soap, it holds the promise, meaning the soap, will dissolve one day, and with all this, the ridiculous borders. Jack became fascinated by this powerful material and its potential in his own contemporary practice.
Officially, I told the World Economic Forum it was inspired by how traditional soap is stacked in factories. I designed a stage backdrop built entirely of thousands of soap bars from Nablus, replicating the wall's brutal architecture. Watchtowers, searchlights, looming height.
It was a wall. Jack triangulated the wall of apartheid, his concerns, and Sabun Nabulsi to override the power of the World Economic Forum of shaping narratives, which Jack considered was silencing narratives. Jack then told people that they can take the soap, the driveway, from the installation. So let's spell it out in another way. At the World Economic Forum, the very place that deals with the economy and trade, is a wall made of soap that can't be traded because of the apartheid wall blocking trade. Jack's artistic practice created the conditions for a driveway. Art and money, the toxic duo. I became a friend of the Sultan Gallery in its second iteration in 2006 when it moved from modern art to contemporary Arab art. Farida Sultan, now the owner and the director, offered the White Cube space to a range of artists with various practices. The artwork by Mahmoud Khaled, Please Stay Blurry, showed in the gallery, complete with the driveway. The driveway is a same-scale replica of the original work. The work, inclusive of the driveway, sells for many monies. A driveway is free and has no value. It's not an original work and it's not an addition. For the driveway to have any meaningful value depends on the already pre-existing artwork. When I asked Mahmoud why he works with driveways, he said, I aimed for this celebration to enter people's homes in a generous and friendly way, a concept I learned from the influential artist Felix Gonzalez Torres, who greatly inspired me.
Taking all the candy?
I'm taking candy.
Okay. Somebody allow you to do that?
Good question. Here lays the paradox complex of driveways and social conditioning.
We find ourselves at the scene of the crime. The crime being touched by visitors.
Museums program the visitor to implicitly understand that the work cannot be touched and the work cannot be questioned. There may be a little bit of wall text to shape how you think of the work, and it may say that you can take something. In Jack's work, he explicitly told people that they can take the soap. At Sultan Gallery, the gallery assistant told people that they may take a replica of the work. Truth of the matter, the social conditioning of art is that no one will even think of taking anything without instruction, because the power structure, which is the museum, is watching you with cameras, and there are security guards at the doorways. In this particular case, I already knew that the Felix candy works were to be taken. What I was curious to know was just how much. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, you can take them.
You can take them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It says you can take them on the.
that's why you're looking at. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want a bag?
No, I don't think I need that many.
You don't want that many?
No.
And they're really good candies.
Yeah.
They're
So
one of,
what is the kind of symbolism of this? It look like, you know.
they're supposed to look like either like bullet holes.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think he's commenting about consumerism, materiality, about the Gulf War, about ammunition.
Right.
And maybe when you crunch it in your mouth and it makes that sound, it will remind you of things.
Oh wow, that's powerful.
It's a really powerful work.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I used to, like where I come from, we had this black. That was my favorite kind of candy. It was black like
Yeah.
this. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So they must refill it every day.
Well, it says that it has an endless supply.
And they have an endless supply.
That's what it says.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So
that's why you can
just want-
love it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can take what you
Very
want.
symbolic, you know, because you know we are tasting the sweetness of the war. I mean, and, yeah, I know that's powerful.
Yeah, it is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Do you want a bag?
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, I will take one more glass.
Sure, take as much as you want.
So are you going to share it with someone, or are you going to?
These?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'm going to think about public opinion for a very long time every time I eat those.
Yeah. Oh, that's.
Samira Kawash, author of the book Candy, A Century of Panic and Pleasure, also known as the Candy Professor, says, it's not just me, we are greedy people, offered more, we will take it, whether we need it or not. You can buy this stuff for a couple of bucks if you want it. The grabbing and stuffing is about something more primordial instinct.
New research coming out of some of America's most respected institutions is starting to find that sugar, the way many people are eating it today, is a toxin.
Nancy Spector, in her article in Case Studies on Felix Gonzalez Torres, ends asking the question, does it matter? In this moment we are in, this moment of complete apocalyptic destruction of humans, no, it doesn't matter. The power structures which shaped humanity and the ways to think about humanity themselves are dismantled at the whim of an elite few, like some sort of primordial instinct, leaving public opinion enraged and rule of law powerless. As for the candy work by Felix Gonzalez Torres, does it matter? Thinking about it in this moment, it's the very replica of capitalism and globalization, ominous and toxic and wasteful. Trust me, don't touch the art.
بيقولوا الحرة لا تأكل بثديها. في الأزمات الجميلة بتقص شعرها. وإحنا في ظل هذه الأزمة مضطرين آسفين إن إحنا ندمر لوحاتنا عشان ناخذ الخشب والبراويز نطبخ عليها. لأنه لا في وقود ولا في كهرباء ولا في غاز ولا في كاز ولا في نيل. ومنيح إذا كان إحنا بنلاقي طحين ولا بنلاقي أي حاجة نطبخها. وزي ما أنتم شايفين أجمل لوحات. عزيزة على قلبي.